Comrades, let me try to situate myself within this debate. Simply, I'm more optimistic than Norman and not so optimistic as John. Let me explain. Norman, I don't think that we are stuck just with direct actions. Important as they are, they're an adjunct to something that is broader within the movement. And I don't at all agree that if we got rid of Starmer, we would inevitably get someone worse. Because I do agree, I don't know why John Palmer said he disagreed with what I was saying on this, or perhaps it was other people saying it. I don't think Starmer's in a strong position. I think he's horrifically weak. And I think in most circumstances, he would be facing a threat of a challenge from the right. And that is still possible, by the way. But I think that there is such a fear of even the existing membership of the party that if there were a challenge, that the right could lose control again. Now, it depends. If there was a challenge to Starmer and he didn't stand down, he faced it, then the left, given the arithmetic of the nominations needed in the parliamentary party, we couldn't get 40 MPs. But if under pressure he stood down, we would only need 20 MPs. And I don't think it's at all obvious that the right would win. Remember, the right won last time for a number of reasons. One, some people understandably were fooled by Starmer's party unity message and standing by the manifesto commitments. Partly people were immediately demoralised, shocked by the defeat of Corbyn. And I mean, it was, I have to say this, I think the left had a pretty poor candidate in the post-2019 selection. And I think we could do better. So I think that Starmer is in a weak position, and I don't underestimate the fact that the left still is probably, if we define the left in a rather broad way, still in potentially a strong position. Now, where I'm less optimistic than John, it's this. I don't think anything's inevitable. I don't think a move to the left is inevitable. And I don't think that the movement of the working class in resistance will automatically find expression in the party if the party is blocking all avenues of expression. Now, I have been spending the period of lockdown, let me be frank, just apart from attending meetings like this, just reading, trying to come to grips with the rise of fascism in Germany. And this was an extreme moment, but the working class was so strong in pre-1933 Germany, and yet we lost. And fascism is the price that the working class paid in Germany for the failure to take power. I've also, for my sins, been rereading Leon Trotsky, rereading The Lessons of October, one of his greatest works. And he explained that there was a decisive moment in the Russian Revolution in which, had there not been a sufficiently strong leadership, our movement would have failed and it would have led to extreme reaction. Now, are these parallels? No, they're not. This is neither 1917 nor 1933 in Britain in 2021. And yet there are valuable lessons. Sometimes there are moments in history where it isn't just the objective conditions that will determine what happens. It is the subjective factor, the building of a leadership that can be the decisive factor, the moment, whether we actually effect change, fundamental change or not. So I think that we shouldn't have a view that our turn will necessarily come again. There is a limit to the number of opportunities we will have. Actually, the person who said, by the way, that this is the opportunity of a lifetime was actually the leader of the firefighters, Matt Rack. Now, let me answer some of the other questions. One I would duck. I'll tell you the one I'm going to duck is what it was in the chat. What do we do about the free press, a so-called free press? What do we do about the power of the media? It's a subject that needs a session in itself. I'll duck that one. What do we do if we're pushed out? Should we be trying to build another party? Well, comrades, I've been a party member since I joined the YS in 1969. I've been a member ever since, and I've never been tempted because I've seen however many problems we've had on the Labour left, and they've been immense. I've seen shipwreck after shipwreck of attempts to build an electoral alternative to Labour. It isn't just the first past the post system. It is also the fact that Labour still has that intrinsic connection to the trade unions. And I think that is, I understand, and I would never condemn those in despair who leave the Labour Party, but I do think it is the politics of despair. So, I mean, I think that what do? We stick in the party, we make ourselves visible. If we get thrown out, we get thrown out. But one thing we don't do, it's an old socialist slogan, and I hope we can stick to it, which is never resign, get thrown out. I don't see we should be doing the right wing's job for them. There will still be some of us there in the event that there is an upturn in the movement, which still could be a decisive upturn in the movement, because finally we can start. Let me just explain one last thing. I said that the energy for renaissance, for rebuilding, for regeneration, probably for the foreseeable immediate future, must come from outside. It must come from the trade unions and beyond. But it will always need a governmental, political expression. And what better political expression still is the Labour Party, which still has more socialists in it than all of the other left parties put together, and still has that intrinsic connection to the trade union movement.